Today we'll be going over the input function. Now the input function is very important and you will use the input function a lot. But the input function allows us to take in input from the user, okay? So it allows Python to take in input from the user. So for example, when you're typing on a keyboard, okay, so when the user types in on a keyboard, when they type, we'll use the input to take in maybe their username and their password, okay? So another example is when you use a calculator, okay? Okay, and you have like the answer. When you press those buttons in, you're essentially inputting your numbers that you want to maybe add together, multiply, and so on. So that's the input. And how we would do this in Python is we would specify input and then our question. So this would be our question. Now this is the question that we will ask the user. Okay, so this question here is going to be shown to the user. Okay, and then the user will read it and then they know what to input. So it's important that we have this in. So an example is maybe we could have input, what is your name? Now, as you can see, we pass in a text, okay? We're passing in a string here as it has quotes. And if the question is, what is your name? And then Python will then wait for the user to type in something. And then once the user has pressed enter, this will come back from the input function, okay? So now it's important because this value is coming back, we need to save this in a box, okay? So for this example, we're gonna save it into the name variable. The name will equal, so name will equal input, okay? Now we could do this for age, we could do this for your hobby, but that's what we will use the input for. Bear in mind, we went over types. The type of this will be a string. Okay, so this will always be a string. And as a result, this will be a string. So if you need to do some sort of, if you need to add things together, or you're making like a calculator, you need to convert this to be either a float or an integer, or convert it to whatever you need the type to be. So bear that in mind. Let's see this in action in Replit. So how we would do this is we could do name is equal to input, type in input, open bracket. As you can see, it's turned yellow here because there's a function. And then what is your name? What is your name? Now I've put a space here because when we run this on the console, we want there to be a gap between the user's input and the question. So let's run this now. And as you can see, it says, what is your name? But before I do that, I'm going to print what the user will input. So your name is name, okay? So let's run this now, and now it's gonna ask for a name. We can say Todd, and if we press enter now, as you can see, it says your name is Todd, because on line 1, we get the name, we save it into our name variable, and then we print the name on line 3. Thanks for watching.